Do you agree that almost everyone has some type of fear? Either fear of public speaking, fear of boundaries, of being rejected, snakes, bugs. What is your fear? My fears are pools, oceans, bridges, and heights. For those of you who don't know who I am Carla with Vibes and Wisdom, and I help people solve their daily problems by providing wise solutions. In this video, I would share with you 3 transformative techniques that changed me from being fearful to becoming fearless. For many years, I was paralyzed with fear of pools and, as I said, oceans of water. I would not go to pool parties. I refused to go on a cruise despite how nice I heard it has been. Or would I even do simple things like water aerobics? And I decided I will no longer deprive myself of these things because I was so paralyzed with fear, false evidence appearing real. And that's when I venture into cognitive behavioral therapy. Technique number 1 that is used by so many psychologists and therapists and coaches as well. Myself being a coach, I have used that technique and I have seen tremendous results from my clients. So what exactly is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy? Well, in a nutshell, it deals with your feelings, your thoughts, and your behavior. For purposes of this video, in my attempt to reduce anxiety and fears, I will focus on the thoughts aspect of it. And for each one of them, feelings, thoughts, emotions, if there is a shift in any one of these, because they're so interconnected, a shift will create an impact in the other. So as I said, in this instance, I'm going to focus on how we could use our thoughts to eliminate some of our fears. So we take negative thoughts and we turn them into positive ones. And you do that by practicing to think differently. And I'll give you an example. People who are afraid of public speaking, they negatively tell themselves, I may not be good enough. I am not sure if they would receive me well. I don't have the experience. There's so many people that's going to be looking at me all at once. I don't think I could do this. And they have become very nervous and unsure. But if they flipped the narrative and they start speaking positively, fluid by positive thoughts, like when I go to that room, I will lift the energy in that room. I will have such a magnetic attraction that at the end of my presentation or my speech, people will come up to me and congratulate me. The energy and the atmosphere would be so great. I will bring value. If you start talking like that, then you would recognize there's a boost in your confidence. There is an elimination of the anxiety and the nervousness because you flip the script. All right? And that is what we call cognitive reframing. It's reframing how you see things because you're now looking at it from a positive angle. I would give you an example. If you have a camera and you're going to take a picture and you change the lens, you may get a better view, but the scene does not change. You're only having a better view because you put on the lenses on the camera. So that's the same thing. The lenses are equivalent to your thoughts. Things only appear differently because you started thinking differently. So I, however, tried cognitive behavioral therapy and it did not work for my fear of heights and bridges. There was one time I was going on a vacation. The night before the vacation, I had all the positive thoughts. And the next day, when I saw the bridge, the anxiety came back. My heart started having palpitations, the sweaty hands, the nervousness. I could not go over that bridge. I had to ask my niece to please take over the wheels and drive me over. So cognitive behavioral therapy may not work in all instances, it's not a panacea for every fear, but I would tell you what worked. Technique number 2 worked very well for me with my fear of heights and bridges. It's small win strategy, gradual exposure to the fear. So when I go to hotels, I would usually, in the past, ask for floors that are the first floor, the second floor, because I am afraid of heights. But what I started doing was asking for a floor on the 11th floor or the 15th, and I would go closer to the window and I would look down. Gradually, I would do that, and I started seeing a difference. And the last time I traveled, I asked for a really high floor. I think I was on the 20th floor with a balcony, and now I went out on the balcony and I was able to look down. Cool, calm, and collective, not nerve-wracking. So it worked for me. And I would share this story with you. One of my friends, she is afraid of dwarfs. Yes, shorter people. And I said to her, there's nothing to be afraid of. They are just shorter in height. If she sees a dwarf, she would go running. And I said to her, maybe what you could do not run. When you see a dwarf, you stay where you are. Maybe take some deep breaths or what have you. And then the next time you see one, you get closer and then eventually build the courage so that you can speak to one. And let's see how that works. Now, if you like what I'm sharing with you so far, please go ahead and like the video. You may be able to use one of the 3 techniques that I would be sharing with you if you have some type of fear. So let's move right in to technique number 3, reflective journaling. And this is where you write what your experiences are when you are afraid of a situation. You write it, and in so doing, it helps you to clarify and articulate your thoughts. It also helps you to find out what is the source of my fear. As you write, what triggers, and you ask yourself meaningful questions and you come up with meaningful solutions. In other words, you are problem solving. And in writing, it helps you also to release your emotions and the pent-up fear and feelings that you would have had over time. So reflective journaling also works for many people. All 3 techniques can be used with some degree of success depending on the situation. Again, if you like what I shared with you, please go ahead, share in the comment section what is your fear and which one of these techniques you believe you could use to eradicate that fear, or you might have used something else that worked. Please share so we can all learn. Thank you.